In today's video, I am going to teach you how to create a random sample in Excel. To begin, you will need an Excel sheet where you can generate random values and then use those values to shuffle your data. Make sure you have your data already set up in the columns you want to sample from. This method works well when you want a simple random selection without adding complicated formulas. Now click on an empty cell in column B, specifically cell B2. Take a moment to look for that cell in the grid. It should be blank, and it should be in the second row of column B. Choosing an empty cell matters because you want to place the random number formula there without overwriting anything important. Next, type the formula equals rand, open parentheses, close parentheses. Then press enter. After you press enter, Excel will generate a random number between 0 and 1. This value changes each time the worksheet recalculates, so think of it as a temporary sorting key you can use to randomize your list. Now that you have the random value in B2, the next step is to fill the rest of the column with similar random numbers. Drag cell B2 down to fill column B. As you drag, Excel will copy the rand formula into the cells below. When you release the mouse button, you will see a column of random numbers that line up with the rows of your data. At this point, the random numbers are what make the sampling random. Rows with higher random values will move differently than rows with lower values, which is why this step is so important before sorting. You have effectively assigned each row a random score, and now you will use that score to shuffle the order. After the random numbers are filled down, you will switch to the top menu and use the Data tools. Click on the Data tab at the top of the Excel window. This tab includes options for sorting and organizing data, which is exactly what you need to shuffle the list based on the random values. Once you click the Data tab, look for the sorting controls. You will use a sort option that rearranges rows based on a column. In many versions of Excel, you can select a column and then sort it. But in this workflow, you will focus on an alphabetical sort button to shuffle the rows. The goal is to reorder the rows using the random numbers you generated. Now click Sort A to Z to shuffle. Even though the label mentions letters, Excel uses the cell values to sort. Since your column contains random numbers, sorting A to Z will arrange them from smallest to largest or in a consistent sort order based on the numeric values. The key outcome is that your data rows will be rearranged randomly relative to their original order. Take a moment to observe what happens on screen after sorting. Your dataset should shift into a new order with rows distributed based on their random numbers in column B. If everything worked correctly, the random values will still be aligned with their rows, and the rows will appear shuffled compared to before. After this, you can decide what you want to do with the shuffled order. For example, the top portion of the sorted list can be treated as a random sample. Because the rows were randomized using the RAND-generated values, any selection from the shuffled results will be much more representative than simply taking rows that were already grouped in the original order. If you notice that your random numbers change later, that is normal. Random recalculates by design. If needed, you can keep the current order by making the random numbers static, but the core shuffle method for creating the random sample is exactly what you completed here. That covers everything you need to know, and that is all there is to it.